Hey, welcome to It's Show Business. It's Latif Tayour, your host. Wow, we've hit our 1 year anniversary show. 52 weeks. Thanks to you guys for supporting us, letting us grow over this next year, learning how to get better in all ways, podcasting, life, the whole nine. This is a great episode. It's with the comedian, good friend of mine, and hilarious guy, Chris Scopo, phoning in from New York, talking about the scene there, sports gambling, a whole bunch of fun stuff. You're going to love it. And if you haven't already, check out the Patreon. We do an extra episode a week where I do a solo one-on-one app. It's been going great, getting a lot of good feedback on that, and we'd love to see you there. So thanks again for supporting the pod. Subscribe, rate and review. Follow me on Instagram at Latif Tayour, and we will talk to you soon. Yeah. So go to the screen.
I got you.
There you go. Boom. Love it.
Gotcha.
Now I can see the basketball hoop. Hopefully, an American flag.
I do have a Mets flag around here somewhere.
Yeah, you're the big Mets guy, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to live with that my whole life.
Is that because you're born out there, or you just became a fan?
You know, it's weird. My dad's a big Mets fan,
Okay.
and my grandfather was a Dodger fan actually, but they were the Brooklyn Dodgers at the time.
Yeah.
And when they left, he was like, "Oh, I'm not rooting for the Yankees."
Yeah.
So he had to wait like 10 years until the Mets came, and he was, I'll root for this team. And then he cursed me.
Yeah. I became a Yankee fan when I lived in New York. It happened.
Oh, God, you're one of them. Jesus.
It was like,
We hate you. We hate you. We hate you. We despise you.
let me tell you my story, okay? So I get there. First of all, from Vancouver, there's no baseball here.
Okay.
Get to New York, first weekend there. It's Red Sox versus Yankees. Like, the Yankees win. I'm in this dumpy hotel. I walk out. The whole street's on fire. It's like so exciting. And I was just like, I'm in.
Was it the playoffs?
Yeah. It was like playoffs
Oh.
of 2003.
Three. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just
Yeah,
like amazing.
No, we still hate you. We still don't like you. I respect people that move to New York and then become Mets fans because it's like, wow, you chose to be a Mets fan. Wow.
But like you don't hear like Yankees is like everywhere. It's like Jay-Z
Everywhere.
hat. It's just
Everywhere.
like it
I
becomes
know.
part of the culture.
Yeah, I know, Latif. Okay, I know they're everywhere. I get it. I know all about
All
them.
right. But do the Mets have a chance ever, or is it just like pain always?
Well, no, we actually do have a brand new owner coming in.
Yeah.
So the
Steve
owners
Cohen,
that we have,
right?
Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah. The owners that we have now got swindled. They're the worst human beings in the world. I hate that with a passion. It goes Stalin, Hitler, Jeff Wilpon as
Okay.
the worst people
Got
in
it.
the world. Yeah. And they got swindled by Madoff for this is how it happened. I actually did my research.
Mhm.
Madoff was like, they're not smart business people.
Yeah.
So he goes, every time they would ask me how they're making money, I would just say numbers and I would say things. And I knew after a while they would be like, oh, okay. And then that's it. They didn't understand how he made money. They actually made money with him.
Mhm.
But when Madoff happened, they were forced to give that money back to the people that lost money.
Oh yeah, like ill-gotten gains.
So like they made like $750 million, but they already spent that money. So they spent the 750,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had to give all that back. So now they're down like 750,
Yeah.
basically, and they had no way to recoup any money. They're not good business people. They didn't buy any for the Mets. So Steve Cohen comes in with his $14 billion, and he's going to save the Mets. So that's gonna be great.
That's a weird thing. It's like you invest with Madoff, you happen to leave early, and you got to give the money back.
Yeah, that happened to a few people that they had to give the money back, and then they got financially hurt.
Yeah, because like, what if you like did things with it? Now you're in debt. It's not your fault.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Exactly. Yeah, the Mets they actually spent money. They did a couple bad business deals on top of that. So they were like, you got to give the money back. Like, we don't have the money. We have the money. But that's all the money we have.
Yeah,
like, we don't care. Give the money back.
And that so they spent the money, and that affected the team because they were in debt.
Yeah. Because then they couldn't go out and get like free agents.
Yeah.
And you're in the biggest market in the world, and you have the Yankees who will literally go out and just buy everything if they want, and then your team is spending. Yeah, you're a diehard fan. And then your team is spending like they're the Kansas City Royals. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how are the Royals spending more money than we are? They have nothing.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy. Do you
they
play
lost.
MLB The Show like on PlayStation?
When I go to Pavone's place, I do. Yeah,
Yeah, I have that game. I love that game. It's so fun.
it's really realistic. I'll be honest.
And like you learn all these, like you learn about trading and management, like that plus Moneyball. Like it really is like a lot of baseball inside knowledge.
Yeah, well, Moneyball does work until the postseason. Moneyball works over like 162 games.
Yeah,
Moneyball doesn't really work in like short series. That's the
right.
problem.
It's a long game. It's not a short term
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. If you want your team to be good over a course of a year, Moneyball is great.
Yeah. I like when I called you back and I was like, "You're such a New Yorker," because I was like 3 minutes. You're like, "Nah, 2." Like it was just like that 1 minute is life over there.
I was ready to go. I was ready to go in that 1 minute. I didn't need it.
So how's comedy over there? Is it crazy? Is it good? Everyone in LA is like sees all these shows and we're all jealous because it's still illegal here.
I mean, we're doing them in parks, so
Yeah.
how good can they be when you got a homeless guy fucking shouting in the middle
Yeah.
of it? So it's something to do. It's just like, honestly, it's like pulling the Band-Aid off slowly, because it's gonna
Mhm.
come off. It's gonna come off in the next month and a half, 2 months, where it's too cold to be outside.
Right.
So right now it's doing it slowly, and the shows are good. Like, people love it. Like, people are excited for the show. I've done maybe like 10 to 15 shows since the
Mhm.
pandemic, and every show has been good. It's like when you get a really hot crowd and you're like, you guys are too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Everything
kinda-
is. Yeah. You're inflating. Yeah.
It's kind of like that, because they just want to be outside. They want to laugh. They want to do stuff.
Yeah.
They're sick and tired of being inside. So every show I've done has been pretty good, and they're pretty happy to be outside. It's on a rooftop, and then like the other day I did a show on a rooftop, and the J train was like going past me. I'm like, the J train's heckling me.
Yeah. Was that the New York Comedy Club one on the rooftop?
No, that's a place called Tiny Cupboard. It's in the Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, New York's got a great little setup though on a rooftop. They have 2 now, I think. Actually, they just got another rooftop.
Yeah, I think I saw Sam posted about it. Like he was on the rooftop. It said the New York Comedy Club sign behind it, and
Yeah, that crowd's. I've done like 4 or 5 shows there, and it's great.
yeah,
They're so excited to be there.
it's weird because they were shutting down like outdoor comedy club shows at clubs that did it in parking lots and stuff. And then just yesterday, a Comedy Store announced that they're October 1st they're going to have shows. So maybe they're relaxing here, but they took a really strict like policy that even technically I think park shows you're not supposed to do. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, I think a lot of you guys didn't really shut down the greatest in the beginning.
No.
You guys weren't the best at it. You were shut down. Like, I honestly didn't leave my apartment for like a month.
Yeah. Do you know Dave Merhej?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave, I was talking to him before I moved out here, and he was just in his apartment in Brooklyn the whole time. Like he didn't leave.
Nothing. There was nothing you could do. You could, like, if you went outside, like, you got looked at weird if you were outside without like walking a dog or getting groceries.
Yeah.
People gave you looks like, "What are you doing?" If you didn't have a mask on, oh, forget it. Toast.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of swagged pretty hard that we were under control, and I think we let it get out of control, but now we're back. Like now it seems to be okay here, or better. I don't know. My end goal is to move back to New York. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I have no idea how I'm going to make it work in this crazy environment, but that's my goal.
You have no idea how you're going to make it work. Does anybody, let's be honest, let's see. Does anybody know what's going on here?
No, it's like, but it seems like kind of silly to do it right now when it's so crazy, but also like it could be a good opportunity. It's like rents are lower, everything's cheaper. I don't know.
This is the best time to move to New York. Like, I have a friend who lives in San Fran, and she's like thinking about moving back. And I was like, you're going to get a great deal on an apartment.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know Matt Richards? You know Matt Richards?
I don't know Matt, no.
Oh, he's a comic. He's a good guy. He's moving in apartments, and I'm like, dude, go and get a 2-year lease. Tell him he does the HQ app, so he has a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get a 2-year lease, have HQ write you a letter saying you're employed by them, and then bang them out for 2 years. They can't raise the rent, because once it comes back a little bit, they're going to start raising rents again.
Do you think they could just go like 50% and go right back up to normal?
I don't know if they can go 50, but like they'll go from like 18 to like 18 to 21.
Okay.
Which is a pretty big leap. $300, $200 is a pretty big leap.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can, even if you're in your place, you can be like, I can't afford it. Do you want to kick me out or negotiate it down? Like, I did that here in LA during
Yeah.
the financial crisis in 2008. I was like, nah, I can move across the street, $300 less. What do you want to do? And they lowered it by $300.
Yeah, it's great. You can now. It's now like they always had our balls in a vice, basically,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like we everyone wanted to be in New York. We wanted to be here. Now it's like we got you guys.
yeah,
It's like I'll get this place, but I want cheap rent. I want something going on. You got to help me out a little bit because they're dying for rent.
yeah. I moved from Canada to New York and I didn't have any credit because like they don't take anything in Canada seriously.
No, we
And
don't at all. Why
uh,
would we do that?
why would you? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
always
why would we
had
do
to
that?
like rent off of somebody. So like someone else had to have a lease and I was always like the roommate coming in and like
Yeah.
paying rent.
Yeah, that's tough. The Canadians have it tough coming to New York. We go up there, we spend like we're drunken sailors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
I came when it was like almost 2 to 1. It was like 1.6 to $1. So like immediately your money's like cut like by at least a third. And then you can't rent any, well, you don't need a car in New York, which is great, but you can't rent an apartment. You can't do all these things. You have to get a visa. I don't
yeah,
miss those
it's tough.
days at all.
It's not. It's the city was going a little crazy with rent and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah.
I a few places were like 2,500, and it's like a shoebox.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like this is not life. This is not good. It's not healthy for you.
Yeah. It's a
know?
good flushing out. And a lot of people are leaving all cities and even rent in LA. If you move out here, which you probably will, right? Uh,
Oh yeah,
it's going down.
it's going down out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Well,
Especially like in West Hollywood and places like that.
well, where are people leaving out there? Because like people in New York, everyone's moving to like the suburbs, which is like Westchester, Long Island, New Jersey. Where are they going by you?
To the valley.
To the valley. Okay.
Yeah. Or even just different apartments that are cheaper. You know, LA is such a weird place because it's just like little towns connected together by roads. It's not really like one cohesive thing.
Okay.
And so people are going to the valley, like, or if they're in an apartment, they can rent a house. But then house rents are going up because people want space and a yard and all that stuff. But
Yeah, like by here in New York, like Westchester and Long Island, they're blowing up. They're actually they're so expensive now
yeah,
because everyone's leaving, and New York is getting dirt cheap.
yeah, you know, ebbs and flows. Do you think
Yeah.
there's going to be indoor comedy in New York anytime soon?
No, not until at least probably April or May.
That far, hey?
Yeah, we did a rally the other day in New York Comedy Club to try to get us like 25% people,
Yeah,
but I think like just like Cuomo has us on such lockdown that
Yeah.
like he's doesn't care. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, because like it's comedy's tough because of the space. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be designed. It's supposed to be designed for small,
small, yeah,
tight quarters where laughter bounces off the wall,
yeah, yeah.
which is not ideal for a pandemic.
No.
Not the way you want to go. So even with laughing, like they say, when you laugh, you spit more
Right.
of the particles come out. So it's like it's not really safe to do it indoors.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say April or May, if not until they find a vaccine.
Damn. Have you
Yeah.
ever invested in stocks or anything like that?
Oh yeah. I got myself a little portfolio.
Yeah.
I'm big into online gambling. I think that's the next boom.
Oh, okay. Like the
And-
gambling stocks or like,
Yeah. DraftKings, MGM. I'm big. I invested in Penn, which owns Barstool,
yeah, Penn. Yeah.
and that's skyrocketing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you gotta think about like they have the 18 to 35 male demo
Right.
on lock. And I was like, I read reading about them. They're gonna get an app. I was like, if they're gonna get an app, it's gonna go hot because
Mhm.
they just gotta pump the shit out of the app and bet with Barstool. Bet with Barstool. I'll get you 10% off on your first bet. All that bullshit. And people will keep doing it.
Yeah.
And like I have some of the apps. It's so easy to bet. It's like all you do is put your credit card information in,
Mhm.
and it's like, you want to bet $50 here? You win 95.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like it's such a simple little thing to do, and people are going to start betting it once it becomes legal across the country, which is going to happen, like I said, in the next 2 to 5 years.
Right.
It's really going to blow up.
Because now it's like New Jersey and Nevada.
It's New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I think Maine has
Okay.
it. It's like 12 states right now.
Okay. Yeah.
New York's going to legalize it in the next governor election, which I think is a year from now.
Yeah. I'm
That's New
surprised
York's-
they didn't push through like online poker in this pandemic. Like just be like, all right, everyone can play poker now.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Like that and weed. Like I still have a feeling like if Trump wins the next election, he's going to legalize weed across the country because he's not stupid. And he realized how much profit weed can bring in throughout the country. Like in
Yeah.
the first month, Denver made $1 million in taxes. which is unreal.
Wow. It
And
seems like Biden was running on like we're gonna legalize weed, kind of.
well, that's what the left is like. Yeah, but I don't think Trump will admit he will legalize weed because that would turn off his fan base.
Yeah, yeah.
But like he's got to be smart enough to realize that weed's going to bring in so much money. He's like, fuck them. I'm good. Now, what are they going to do? Kick me out? They can't do that.
Yeah. Where's it still illegal? Because like I guess I could forget in California it's so basically legal that you're.
Yeah. No, you can't have it. You have to have a medical marijuana license for New York City.
But if you're, are you going to get arrested for it or not really?
Yeah, yeah. If you have weed, like there's some dickhead officers that will arrest you. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it has to be over a certain size though.
Yeah, yeah. And like you have a scale and baggies and stuff.
Oh, if you have a scale and baggies, you're fucked. Have fun, especially if your skin color is a little darker. They're gonna lock you up.
You're
they're
done?
gonna fucking lock you up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Right. And then I can't remember. Someone was saying like, yeah, they wanted to legalize weed on the left, and then also let the people out who have drug like weed possession convictions.
Oh, they should absolutely. I mean, like, it's so funny to see how like in some states the weed is legalized, and then like guys are in jail for selling like weed.
Yeah,
it's like if this happened 10 years later, they wouldn't be in jail.
What's like Elon Musk, I think, tweeted that. He's like, isn't it weird that like weed is an essential service in California, but there's people in jail for holding weed?
Yeah. It's crazy how like it's just fucking I hate politics in general, but it's such a fucking it's like Kamala Harris has literally just put everyone who had weed in jail. She didn't give a shit. Like, you're in jail, you're in jail, you're in jail. And now it's like, oh no, we're legalizing it. It's like, you're so fake, honestly. It's like a fake thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is weird, and it's like, well, but what do you do? Like, how do you hold? Do you just let everyone out? I guess you have to. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, it would be offenses. It would be like, how many offenses do you have on it? If you have like a first time offense, or like if it's like under 3 or 4, I guess they're probably out first. Also, if you were in jail and maybe you didn't kill somebody in jail, you could probably get out. That's a big thing. Yeah,
right.
Certain things get out.
If you didn't kill someone in jail?
Yeah, if you didn't kill somebody, usually because like sometimes you go to jail and you just become a worse person.
Oh, right. Do you get a murder charge if you kill, or is it just like, it's jail?
No, you get murder. You ever watch like documentaries on shit like that? I watch. No. I love jail documentaries. They're great.
Yeah, I always heard about Rikers Island. Like, where is that?
It's by here. It's by me. It's like 10 minutes away.
Is it by Roosevelt Island?
I don't know exactly where. It's weird. You know what's funny? Like during the pandemic, one of the days, I was just like, I had to get out of the house. So I just drove my car down Astoria Boulevard all the way down, and I ran into Rikers Island. It's like a big sign goes, now entering Rikers Island. Yeah. And there's signs all over there like, hey, this is Rikers Island. You sure you want to come here?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I tried to turn my car around, but that's a pretty big time jail, Rikers Island. It's a bad place.
I always I love like the simplicity of thought. Like back in the day, they're like, all right, jail there. All right, dump Staten Island. Like they just pick places and then they're like, oh no, this is not sustainable. Like we got to grow.
Yeah. They're like, oh shit, people live here? Fuck. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about it.
It's amazing that New York like has survived as this thing. Like it's so unique, but it's like, it doesn't make sense.
It makes sense for like weather-wise because it does have like the 4 seasons, so you can live here like that. LA doesn't make any sense. It's a desert, no water, makes no sense.
No, it doesn't live without AC and roads. Like it doesn't. There's nothing.
Yeah, but what was big about New York is that so many creative people came out of New York. Yeah, and kind of made it what it is. They made it huge. And the financial, obviously, the stock market's in New York City. Yeah. Without the stock market, honestly, this town would be done.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely like if you live in New York in finance, like you get a different New York, like, cause like you get the keys to the city in a way. It's like, that's what the city is designed around. It's like in LA, if you're in movies or entertainment, it's like, that's the city. So you move in the right circles. Everything is just different. My
brother's an investment banker, and it's like, his life is just so opposite of my life. Yeah. It's like, I've hung out with him, and like, he's like, oh, this is this guy. He goes, oh, yeah, he's a billionaire. Yeah, and it's like, I'm like, what? I just took a billionaire's hand. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, we're worth like $1 billion. It's like, oh, only $1 billion.
Right.
It's just a different world you live in. You meet people that you have no idea are so rich, so wealthy, so powerful. And like, if you do that entertainment, you know that person because he's famous or she's famous.
Yeah. Exactly. Like people are surprised that like if you live in LA, you know these people. And the same thing, you're surprised in New York if you know a billionaire. It's like for them, it's common. For us, it's celebrity is common.
Yeah, it's so different because like out there in LA, everyone you meet somebody who's famous, they're rich, they have $100 million. Say they have $100 million and they're an actor, they're very famous, they're very rich.
Yeah.
In New York, it's like $100 million. That's a guy who lives on fucking Park Avenue. You have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
You have no idea what his job is. He's worth so much money. He goes to the store like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like the guy who owns the Mets, Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
I had no idea who this man was before a year ago.
Yeah.
And he's based off the show Billions.
Yeah. He was in the news for like some sort of insider trading scandal.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love my shark guy. He wanted information, he got it. I love it. That's my owner, baby.
Yeah. Did you ever think about that life for yourself, like investment banking or something like that?
I am a finance major actually. I'm a double major in college. Yeah, but I just it bored me. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't fat. Like I could have did it and worked in marketing or finance, but like. I watch my brother work and like he enjoys the shit. Like he knows how to do all that shit on the spreadsheets, and it's like he's good at it too. And it's just like he finds like joy in like saving a little bit of money or like finding a distressed company and then like sucking all the money he can get out of it.
Yeah.
So like I can't do that shit. It's like I would fall asleep. Someone would yell at me and I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. Like it wouldn't work out for me.
Yeah. That's more of your comedy angle. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm dating. Like I'm like seeing a girl now. She was telling me like she had a passive aggressive email from somebody, and she told me the email. And in my head, I was like, just tell her to eat a dick.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, you can't say that. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there's this glamorization of like finance people yelling like obscenities and stuff, but that's like the '80s. Like you can't do that today. You can't like
no.
You can't be using swear words or having microaggressions like, on people. Like you'll get fired.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the finance world is still heavily male. It's still heavily pretty. But there are females in there, but not as amount like to basically like finance bros are real.
Yeah, they're
like,
real. Yeah.
When I see my brother working with people and he's like yelling at us, like his professor that works below him, and I'm like. But they're all guys, so they kind of take it. But like when there's a female in there, it's like, yeah, you got to kind of like, you can't be that aggressive.
Yeah.
You can't just say shit because like they'll just say shit. They'll cut you. They want their money. They want it done right. That's it.
Yeah. Quick to the point. I used to work in recording studios, and it was same thing. Like if you had like a female engineer or someone on the team in the studio, like the energy totally changed because it's still very bro-y. Like most engineers in the studio are men still.
Yeah.
But it was nice to have a woman as part of the team because everything was more respectful. Everything changes. The tone changes. Like
it is a softer vibe in there. It's like you're working there. You're like, okay, if I mess up, I'm not going to get my head cut off. So
it's just we need a balance of different people in the room because it helps. Like you don't want to. It can spiral out of control. A bunch of dudes broing down wherever they work, you know.
Yeah. It's because you're gonna get aggressive, and like it goes back to like who has the bigger dick.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm the biggest guy in this room here. Let's go. And I'll yell at you if I want to.
Yeah. I heard you were a catcher. Is that true in baseball?
I was, back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I played baseball for Sacred Heart University.
Oh, nice.
And I was pretty good back in the day. Now I think I stopped playing like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was pretty good, and I wasn't good enough to get drafted or anything like that. But I was a pretty good hitter. I could catch. I got to catch pretty well, actually. Hitting was a little different when I got to college. A little harder.
I was listening to him talk about Sanchez, and they're like, they fixed his hitting, and then his catching sucked, and then they fixed his catching, and then his hitting sucked, and they couldn't get the balance.
Watching him, he's awful at catching. Like it's so funny because they're like, "No, he's one of the best receivers in baseball." It's like I watch him, he's not. He's terrible. He doesn't block the ball well. He doesn't get down on his knees. He overswings at everything. So the Yankees are gonna get rid of him, I think, this year. Yeah, I have a feeling that because the fans, fans in New York hate his guts.
Really?
Hate him. Like, there's not one Yankee fan that likes him. They hate him. And he's batting like 120.
Yeah, he's not doing great.
That's not good. So I think they're going to get rid of him. There's a big catcher coming out in the free agent market right now, so they might go after him.
Yeah, you'd be a good manager because you got the finance brain. You're really into sports, like doing the trades and all that.
No, I wasn't good because I tried to manage like when I was like in I think my like right after college. Someone asked me to work with kids these like 7-year-olds, and I would tell them what to do, and they wouldn't do it. And I'm like, why can't you guys just do this? Yeah. I don't understand it. It doesn't go through my head because I could do it easily.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not good with like teaching how to like softly do it. I'm like, you guys are idiots. What are you doing? Cover the second baseman when he goes this way. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I have.
But they're 5. I mean, you could join the Mets on the business side.
Oh yeah, I would honestly. There is a part of me that now that comedy's kind of over for now, it's just waiting outside Citi Field for Steve Cohen and being like, just giving my resume in every day. Just every day, just giving my resume in. So hopefully he hires me.
Yeah, just give him a tip. Hey, you should do this. My name's Scopo.
Yeah. Just please. I'll do anything for this team. I'll work for free.
Yeah. Not bad. And so, what are your goals for this year? If like your comedy's kind of slowing down, it's going to be winter. Are you just going to wait it out, or how is New York going to benefit your comedy goals this year?
Well, originally, in like February, I was planning on doing an album in like around this time right now. That kind of went to the wayside. So, and I'm in my head, I'm like, I gotta wait like at least 6 months until it comes back every night because I can't really do the old jokes anymore. I gotta build up another hour.
Yeah.
So I probably, if it gets back in like May, I'll probably do it in like January of next year, of like 2022 actually.
Yeah.
To get it rev up. But now I'm doing shit online. Me and Alex Pavoni have a new web series called Baking and Bets.
Oh, dope.
Where we pick a game every week, like a Monday Night Football game, and we bake a dish from one of their cities, and we give you the bets that we think are good. I went 3-0 last week. He went 0-3. So I really want to get into like the gambling world of like sports because it's huge right now. It's so big, and there's not many comedians doing it. It's all like handicappers. Like we all want to be funny doing it. And I know sports enough to bet and gamble and stuff like that. So that's where I'm getting into that. I got my podcast, Sell the Team, which is about the Mets.
Right. It's sold. So is the podcast done, or are you going to keep going?
I don't know. I got to rename it, honestly. People keep asking me that. I'm going to be like, I don't know. Sold the Team? I don't know what it is.
Just cross it out. D.
I didn't really put that into thought when I was making the podcast name. I'll be honest with you. I was like, I hate the owners so much. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to just sell the team. That's it.
Yeah.
And now they did sell it. So I don't know. I think about doing a podcast about, it's called Rep Your City. I talk to people in like wherever city they're from and see how tough their fans are.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to a guy from Philly and he was like, yeah, I've spent a couple nights in the Philly jail cell after an Eagles game. And I'm like, that's pretty wild.
I mean, just like Eagles for sure. Like everyone I know who's an Eagles fan is a nut.
They're mentally unstable. Something's wrong with those people.
Yeah, even like the ones who have like normal jobs, they're obsessed with the Eagles.
Because they got nothing in that trash town. Philadelphia's a trash city. They got nothing. They worship Rocky, who didn't even fucking exist, and that's all they do. And hoagies, and the Eagles. That's all they love.
I like a Philly cheesesteak.
I love a nice Philly cheesesteak. Wawa's good. You ever go to Wawa?
No.
Oh, you know it's a Wawa? Dude, that's the only thing good about Philadelphia. They have Wawa.
Oh, man. There's a place out here that does them pretty good, and they like import the bread from there. I think it's called Booze.
Oh, really?
Booze Philly cheesesteak. Yeah. It's really good. I know, like New York, there's food in LA, it's good. Like, I don't believe it. Nah, it ain't right.
No, I've learned. I've learned going out to LA. One time, the first time I was out there, I got pizza. I'll never do that again. Never doing pizza out there again. But I've learned to go whatever cuisine, like Mexican, Spanish. I've learned to go that way. But when I'm out there for a week or 2 weeks, just go eat Spanish for the week.
Yeah, and food trucks are great here.
Oh, yeah. I stop at a food truck at least a couple times a week when I'm out there.
Because I didn't find the food trucks in New York to be that great. But this is like before they became hipsterified when I lived there too. But
what did you get?
Just like the halal trucks or like this and that. They were just not that great.
Really? The halal trucks here, I think, are great. This is the halal guys on 6th Avenue. That
halal guys is great. Yeah, halal.
That guy pulls in like $6,000 a day cash.
What?
It's that guy's a millionaire.
Wow.
He's on 6th Avenue and I think 52nd Street.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen the line. The line's always backed up.
Yeah.
He now has three truck stands.
Yeah.
In one area, and they're all just filled up.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's unreal.
I used to work at this studio that was right in Times Square, and there was one food truck that was like a falafel, like a vegetarian one. And that one was amazing. Like I would barely get back from my lunch break just to go there.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, the food trucks in the city are good. Some are shitty. Some are shitty. They're overcharging too. Like some of them I'll go up to a guy and I'm like, I got a hot dog. He goes $3. I go, bro, I'm from New York. I'm not paying $3. I go, I'll give you $2.
Yeah.
And the dollar doesn't matter, but for me it matters.
I find all food has just been overpriced. They've just taken everything and added 50%. Like maybe costs have gone up or I don't know that business, but food is so expensive now. Like a salad can be $18 for lunch.
Dude, I just salad in the city. Yeah. I don't go there anymore because first of all, they go 3 sides and that's it. You can't get everything's extra.
Yeah.
And it's $18 for a salad. I'm like, I could go to a deli for 12 or 10.
Yeah.
It's so much cheaper there. Yeah. Those salad places are a ripoff.
It all adds up. I want to go back to one thing you said about betting. I was a big poker guy. I love playing poker and that kind of betting. And I even at one point was learning blackjack, how to count cards.
Count cards. Yeah.
But
what are you, Rain Man? Tom Cruise is hanging out.
I got the some book on it by Edward Thorpe, who's actually a really smart,
very famous book. Yeah.
Very famous book, but also he has a super smart finance guy too. And he's got a great biography if you want to check it out. But I know nothing about sports betting. When people handicap and odds and it doesn't. Can you give me a quick overview of how it works?
Sure. Okay. So there's a lot of different factors in sports betting.
Yeah.
First of all, you know that if you see a line is basically how much one team is favored by.
Okay.
So to make the games fair, they have to give a line. In college football, I'm watching a game right now. I think it's Florida versus Ole Miss. Florida's going to be favorite, but you can't just pick Florida outright because they're going to crush them.
Okay.
So you make it let's say Florida is -10. That means off the bat, Ole Miss is getting 10 points, which means that the score before the game even starts is 10-0
for them to qualify as a win.
Well, then now Florida has to beat them more by 10.
Right. Okay.
To qualify as a win.
Is that the spread?
So, that's a spread.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the line. They call it the line of the game.
Okay.
So when you hear someone go, "What's the line?" That's the line. So it's minus 10 for Florida. That means Florida's giving 10 points to them automatically.
Okay.
Then you could do the over/under of a game. Over/under is the combined points for the total of the game. So right now it's 41-21. The over, I don't know what it is, but the over/under, let's say, is 70. So that means they have to combine to go over 70 points. If you bet the over, you win.
Oh, so this is total scoring, doesn't matter who.
Yeah, that's the over/under total. Okay. You could bet you bet the over, the under.
Yeah.
It's also, whatever Vegas says is right. Vegas always has the line. You're it's -7. No way it's gonna be -7, and then it's -7 every time.
How do you think they know that?
They have unreal people. They have very, very intelligent. They have information that we will never have. They have information that the quarterback got into a fight with his girlfriend the night before. And he's upset about that. They have all that information. I don't know how. They have street information. It's true. They have street information. They have who's reffing, what refs are playing. So they'll see the ref. They'll see the refs. Oh, they go, oh, this guy calls holdings more.
Yeah.
So if he calls holdings more, that means it's going to be less. It could be more. It could be more offense, basically, because there's penalties. They're going to be marching down the field.
Yeah.
So they have that information that goes into it.
They probably have some finance guys doing spreadsheets and stuff.
It's finance. It's a lot of analytical stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of how in football, it's how one team passes the ball more. So that then they're gonna throw that into consideration. This team passes the ball more. How's the defense of the other team? Is the defense a run stop team, or is it a pass stop team? So it's all cases to mention that. And then, I mean, there's so much more I can get into. Then there's the money line. The money line's it's a little difficult to understand. So the money line in the game is just straight up betting.
Okay.
So if, like, say the money line for Ole Miss right now would probably be at the start of the game is probably like plus 250.
Okay.
So that means you have to bet $100 to win 250.
Mm-hmm.
That's outright though. It's outright, no line, nothing, just outright. So I have to.
That's pretty good. 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, it's good, but that means they're not favorite though. That means they're not that good. They're definitely Ole Miss is not that good, not as good as Florida.
So money line is basically like taking the odds into like a simplistic format.
Yes. But then so right now the game is in the fourth quarter. You can do inline betting too.
Yeah.
So you can bet during the course of the game.
Oh, and the odds probably are changing as the game goes.
Yes, exactly. So like the money line probably right now is probably for Florida minus 300 or minus 350, which is not good. That means you got to bet 350 to win 100.
Right, but it's higher probability that's going to work out.
Higher probability is going to happen, but like if some reason Ole Miss comes back, it's not a good bet.
Yeah, I mean the risk to reward is low. It's like
like there was a game last week, Dallas versus Atlanta. I don't know if you saw it, but Dallas was down 10 points with about 3 minutes to go. Yeah. And they came back and won the game. And people were betting on money line on that game, and that was huge because Dallas was I think it was like Dallas was like plus 375. Yeah. Because there was 3 minutes left. They didn't have the ball. It was like there's like no shot they're going to win, and they came back and won the game. So betting that way, that people won a lot of money. I know that when they bet the money line. It's kind of like roulette when you go and you take I'll take 2/3 of the board, and I'm gonna cover more area, but I'm only gonna possibly win 50%. And if I get the wrong third, I'm gonna lose all of it. So my probability is higher, but my upside is lower. Yes, way lower. But like professional gamblers will now follow inline game, and they'll literally just keep betting like stuff like inline, and they'll make 25 bets during the course of a day. So they might lose 10, but they win 15. Yeah. How do they have an edge if like Vegas has all this stuff and like they know the quarterback's underwear and all that stuff? I mean, it's just knowledge of the game, basically. You don't have an edge. Vegas always wins. Basically. Yeah. Vegas will always win in the end, but it's a lot of betting is really good for like in-game betting is the best because the line shifts so much so quickly. Where you could, if you get a line that's like favorable, if it's like, say, I don't know, just say like the basketball game tonight. Say the Lakers are down 10 points with 5 minutes to go, so they're probably plus 175. That means they're probably minus 175. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, plus 175. So you bet 100 to win 175. So if they're down 10 with like 5 minutes to go, the Lakers can fucking come back in 2 seconds from that. 2 seconds. Yeah. And there's probably less time for them to like calculate everything. So you're probably getting more chance of inaccurate odds during the game. Sometimes they don't update quickly. Yeah. Online. So they'll take this up. My buddy Pavone was betting with somebody. Yeah. And they weren't updating the lines quickly. So he was watching the game live. Yeah. And seeing that it's going down from like 6 to 5 to 4. Yeah. And they didn't update it. So he's taking them at like 6 and they're only down 2. Yeah. And he's just got his phone out, like on the app or something, betting, or like, online, or it's on the phone, like like a landline. Like, hey, put me down. No, there's no more landline. That's mafia shit. When they go, put me down for this, that's mafia. You don't want that those guys anymore. Yeah. It's all online. So there's no more like street bookies. Oh no, there is, because there's like degenerates who don't have a credit card and they need to bet with a book. There's also, when you bet online, you have to give the money up right away. Right. So, like, if I'm betting $100, it's taken out of my bank account. With a bookie, you go, hey, I want this. And he goes, all right, if you don't win, I'm going to collect on Tuesday. Yeah, like Uncut Gems. Yeah, so you got a little bit of a time to, like, get the money. And you also just got to avoid them if you don't have the money. You just got to not show up to work a few days, you know? Yeah. Yeah. What about like horses? Like, I would love to be like one of those old guys on the track, just with my binoculars and my paper. Just
with the newspaper?
Yeah. Come on. I never bet horses. I don't really know them at all.
Yeah.
So, but it's huge, dude. Horse betting is massive. And that's like one of the original places you could go and bet.
Yeah.
Like that's been legal for, I don't know, like 50, 60 years.
Right.
You go to a track and you bet, and it's all done there. So you just go up to the people and they do it for you there.
Yeah, and that's like pari mutuel betting, where it's like the odds change as more bets are placed.
Yes. Yeah. So like it's like if a horse is favorite, it could open at say 3-1.
Yeah.
And if it's favorite, it probably go to like 3-2, 2-3, which means the odds
as the money comes in.
As the money comes in on the horse, which you're not. If you open at like 5-1, you want to take that right away.
Yeah.
Because that's your best odds of winning. And if it keeps shifting, it will shift to the horse's favor. Like you'll see in sports betting too. Like I'll give you this. I bet this game this week. I bet the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets are getting 10.5 points, and the Jets are not good. But that's a huge spread.
Is that your team?
Spread. So like it started out at like 9. No, I hate them. But okay. The spread's so big. The spread's so big. I'm hoping for a backdoor cover.
Okay.
So basically, like it opened at like 9.5, and everyone's putting money on the Colts to win. So the line went to 11.5. So now it's at 11.5 right now. So I took him at 10.5. So I could take him at 11.5, and I should have waited, but I've been getting an extra point. So it's all like what the teams bet, basically how the money goes.
Yeah. For a guy who said he's not into finance, you were rattling off numbers like a day trader.
Oh, I know. No. When it comes to finance on spreadsheets, I have no idea. But you tell me lines, I'm like Rain Man when it comes to this. I'm like, it's over here, it's over there.
Yeah. There was some study done that like all people were saying like Americans are falling behind educationally, and then like except when it comes to sports, they're like they can rattle off every stat, like every bet odds, number, spec.
My cousin, honestly, is one of the dumbest human beings I've ever met in my life. He's a construction worker. He's not smart, but he knows sports betting like it's his job. Like it's literally he rattles off numbers to me and like passing yards, and I'm like, how do you know this? He's like, I have no idea. I just know.
Yeah. I think even like people who say they're not smart, like everyone has the ability somewhere to like be smart in different areas, and like you can be Rain Man of like this or that.
Yeah, it's what you're interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun to bet, like, even if it's not a lot, you bet like $10 on a game. It's like, oh, this game means a lot more to me now.
Yeah. Like I've done it with friends in the room, like, just basic stuff, but I'll check it out, see if it's, I like going to Vegas and seeing the board there. And like, I like the characters. There's people sitting there. They know so much about this. I'm like, it's just like a world.
If you go to Vegas, it's funny. You'll go to Vegas and you'll see people in the sports book. You'll see the handicappers. You'll see them like, oh, it's opening at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking that's a huge. Or they go, oh, I'm waiting. I'm going to wait until one of the action's on the other team, which will make the spread either higher or lower, and then they'll take it. So you'll see people like meticulously doing this way.
Yeah. Did you ever see that movie Rounders?
Of course. Yeah. I saw it the other night, actually.
What's that?
I was watching it the other night.
Oh yeah. So like, I love like people who dive into like subcultures like that are, I mean, comedy's like that. Comedy's a subculture that's like
it is,
this people and like all these inner workings of it. From afar, it's just a bunch of guys on stage telling jokes. Who knows how they got there. Once you dive in, it's like a community. There's this and that. And what you're describing to me feels like the sports version of Rounders. Is like this guy and he's at this and the KGB and John Turturro and all that stuff.
Those like underground casinos do exist in the city because I've been invited to a couple of them and I'm too afraid to go. I'm too afraid to go there, but they exist. They're real. Like I knew a buddy who I knew a guy who was a dealer in one of those. Yeah, and he was like, you want to come and play? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, it's not much. It's like $100 buy and $200 buy, and I'm like, I don't know. It still scares me. Yeah.
You meet some unsightly characters. Well, I guess that's what's good about sports being online and legal. Like there's a certain legitimacy to it in a way.
That's why I think now the boom is going to go so crazy high because it's not done with a bookie anymore. It's done online. It's not done with a guy who's going to bring another guy with him who's huge and is going to break your legs if you don't have the money.
Yeah.
It's all legit now, and it's all fun to do. It's like it's fun to like bet a game a little bit. You watch it, even if
Right.
it's $10, it's fun.
And you can't really cheat, right? Like, because there was that big scandal with poker where like someone had like God view and he could see everyone's cards.
I mean, you could cheat. It's called paying off the teams.
Oh, that kind of cheating. Yeah.
That's gonna happen a lot actually. Like when legalized gambling, because like you got to think about like it's big. It'll be big in college sports, where like a middle America school, it's like say Iowa versus Iowa State.
Yeah.
Maybe none of those guys are gonna go pro. Maybe,
Right.
but if I'm a guy who wants for Iowa to win, I wanted to win by like say less than 6. It's called point shaving.
Yeah.
I'll give you 10 grand cash if you win by less than 6. So it's like, oh, I could manipulate it that way. That's happened a lot in college sports, actually.
Yeah, because they probably need the money.
They probably need them. They're not going pro.
Yeah.
They probably need them. It's 10 grand cash. They probably need the money. It's not a bad investment if you're the guy. It's like, we still win the game, but less than 6? Okay.
Yeah, but then every time you watch On the Waterfront, you just be pissed. Like, I could have been a contender.
Yeah. Some of them know. You know though if you're going to go or not. Like when I was playing college ball, I was I was playing against some kids. I was like, oh, I'm not that good.
Yeah. There's always those people you're like you think you want it, and then like, no, that guy or girl really wants it. Like
it's just they're just better at everything. It's like I remember playing like University of Georgia.
Yeah.
And Florida State. It's just like, oh wow, these guys are so much better than me.
Yeah. Well, this is really fun. I learned a lot about betting. I want to ask you your advice on something before we go. I'm thinking about coming to New York in December because I have the option to. Is it even worth it? Do you think comedy will be dead? Like, will the city die? Like, what's your foresight right now?
The city's never going to die. People are like, the city's going to die. It will be in like, let's say, a wounded warrior phase. It's going to be hurtful in a while. It's not going to be good. It's never going to die because this city's too good to die. It's too big. It's too big to fail.
But like you can't go anywhere if it's like free winter time, right?
Well, now we have outdoor dining and up until the end of the year. So
in December.
Get a hat on, Latif. Let's go to Starbucks and eat outside.
Do you think we could go see some horses?
No, they don't run. There's only a certain time they run during the course of the year.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to come in May, we can go to the Belmont Stakes in May.
I would love to go to Belmont. I'm gonna make that happen. May, Belmont.
Yeah, it's fun. We can go to Belmont. No, but I think if people who want to come to New York for comedy or want to come to New York for something, you might have to move here and sacrifice a couple months of just doing nothing and boredom.
Yeah.
And you'll get good deals in apartments, which is positive.
Right.
And you'll eventually, if you work in circles, there probably will be like open mics that you could go to that are like outside.
Right.
Like comedians, we're such losers. We're like, well, I'll do comedy anywhere. It's like in a park with 4 squirrels and a lady. I guess
there will be people snowing in like a parka and doing comedy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing it. Like I don't need it that bad to do it. I'll wait. Yeah. But like there are people that will do it. That will do it. It will get back. It will get back quickly.
Yeah.
When it does come back, but it's going to take some time.
Totally. Well,
New York is not dead. New York's not dead, baby. It's never going to be dead.
I used the wrong words, but I just felt like I would go. I have a place to stay out there, like in the East Village, but I would go there and just be in the apartment for like 2 weeks. That's what my fear is.
Well, you could go out now and stuff. Like you could go out to like restaurants and stuff like that. The problem is that like you can't go in anywhere and do anything. You can't there's no like movie theaters.
Yeah.
There's no like.
I heard they just came back movie theaters.
No, New York said no. In New Jersey they did. In New Jersey they allowed it. New York's tough. I'll be honest. New York's really tough because they're very afraid for the second wave.
Yeah, well, it's the density is such a problem that like if they have a second wave, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I was joking for a while. It's like New York's the greatest city in the world. Horrible for a pandemic though. Holy shit! They did not map that one out.
Subways and everyone living on top of each other, like the perfect storm.
The perfect storm of a pandemic. Yeah. Well, they just made taking a shit in the subway illegal in New York City, so they got that going for you.
There's progress. I didn't know it was legal.
Yeah, neither did I. But they just banned it. De Blasio.
Yeah. Do you take the train?
I haven't taken the train since like March now.
No, I guess there's no point.
I have a car to begin with. Like,
perfect.
usually like when I was doing spots in the city on a Friday or Saturday night where I'm bouncing around a little bit, I take the train because it's just easier to maneuver.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, there's no point in me taking the train.
Yeah. If you have a car.
Yeah, I have a car, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna. I'm not like bouncing around from spot to spot. It's
Yeah.
if I have a spot a week,
Yeah.
I'm driving in. So
Yeah, that's where I'm at in LA. I'm about a spot a week, and it still feels good, but also like it's a lot of waiting.
it's like, you know what it is too. Like you get a new bit that you're working on. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. I can work on that. And they're like, oh no, I can't work on it because no one's gonna hear this ever.
Yeah. It's I guess you work on it for yourself or try to come home and write a tag.
I'm just in my room yelling at the college football players right now.
Yeah. Well, this is fun, dude. I really learned a lot. I really appreciate you doing the podcast. Where do people find you? Your Instagrams, Twitters, all that?
At Chris Scopo on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Very simple. Go on my Instagram. I got Baking and Bets episode 2. It's a lot of fun. Me and my former roommate, he's a comedian, Alex Malone.
Yeah, Canadian.
We have a good time. Canadian,
Yeah.
The Canadian sensation.
Yeah.
By the way, I will say this about Canada. You guys were tough on letting people in.
Oh, yeah.
He went up there and he had a quarantine for 2 weeks, and they called him every day.
They put an app on your phone. They call you every day.
Yeah.
They do random show ups. Yeah.
It's no joke. Over here, it's like, hey, stay inside, but if you don't, wear a mask.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't gone back for the same reason. I don't want to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's tough. He said it was tough. He goes, by day 10, it was tough.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon. And thanks again.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Good seeing you too. Later.
Let me know if you come to New York.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in December. I'll send you the dates once I got them.
All right, buddy.
All right, later.